All right. All right. Welcome to the Carl Jackson Show. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. I appreciate you guys joining me today. So, Biden had a solution, or he has a solution for his declining poll numbers and also for his declining support amongst black voters. You guys heard about this today, right? So, Joe Biden's solution, or his remedy, if you will, for his cratering poll numbers is more mass amnesty. This guy is a disaster for this country. There is no doubt about it. There is no denying it. I know that he isn't necessarily running the show, but he's the one that signs executive orders, so on, etc. We've got video to play for you. Also, we got Karine Jean-Pierre. I know you guys have heard of it, trying to make excuses for Joe Biden and his senility, if you will, trying to gaslight all of us. And I got to tell you, a lot of people were kind of clowning Karine Jean-Pierre, and she deserves to be clowned. She's not a bright woman whatsoever. But a lot of people were clowning Karine Jean-Pierre because she was saying cheap fakes as opposed to deep fakes. And I'm like, listen, conservative, let's not get caught up in stupidity. Let's not get caught up in the nonsense. What we should be more concerned about is that the left will look us right in the face. They'll know that they're lying. They'll know that we know that they're lying, and they'll still lie to us and not care because you know what? They're communists. And you know what these communists believe? They believe that they can just keep repeating the lie, keep repeating the lie, keep repeating the lie, and then eventually we'll believe it. And if we don't believe it, so what? They'll just say, you know what? Bend over, grab the Vaseline because it's coming anyway. That's who the left is. These are commies. This is what you need to understand. So I'm going to go over a few things with you today. I'm going to go over some of this column that emerged yesterday with this Des Moines, Iowa Register poll. I said that I would talk about it yesterday. I didn't get an opportunity to get into it, so I'll get into that a little bit. I'll tell you what Biden is offering to illegal aliens right now. Also, I will talk about this New York. Also, I'll talk to you about this New York Post column, how non-citizens are getting voter registration forms across the U.S. and how Republicans are trying to stop it. Guys, this is why I don't get all. What's the word? This is why I don't get all like whoop-de-doo when it comes to polls. Now, I will go over this Des Moines, Iowa Register poll, and the only reason that I'm doing that is because that poll, for whatever reason, seemingly is the gold standard for many polls in an election season, and it runs the gamut. Conservatives, liberals, independents. It seems to be a great indicator of where the country is, at least right now, if we were to look at a snapshot of today's election. So if we were to base the election upon what that poll says today, then Trump would likely win. But this is why I don't take any polls. I shouldn't say that I don't take them. Beyond this, why I don't take polls seriously in this modern age, generally speaking. And it's because we know the Democrats will cheat. Let's just be real. And we know the Democrats will do whatever they have to do to win, including this. By the way, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. Hello to all of you, to all of you that are live currently, I believe on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you are watching. I appreciate you joining the show. Please like, please subscribe, please share, por favor. We would certainly appreciate that. You can see that I'm perfecting my Spanish since Joe Biden is bringing so many illegals in, and they will probably take over the country. Let's hope not, but let's be real. It's getting very, very dangerous, and we will talk about that. We'll talk about the murder of Rachel Marin, who a mother of five that was murdered by an illegal alien that already had a record inside of the United States and had fled the country. Venezuela, I believe, is where he's from. I'll make sure that I get that right before the podcast is over. And guys, listen, this is coming to a town near you. Also, you guys may have heard the story. I posted this on my X account. Please follow me on X. Please follow me on all things social media at The Carl Jackson Show is where you can find me. I'm on X, Instagram, Facebook, where else? Twitter. Wait, that is X is Twitter. All right, you know what I'm saying. Wherever I am on social media, follow me there. But listen, this situation with illegal immigration, this is the most precarious. This is the most dangerous situation that in the deep state, the the rule of law that has just absolutely gone bye-bye is insane. Did you guys hear the story of Joe Biden's Secret Service agent? One of Joe Biden's Secret Service agent, and we'll play some videos. We'll remind you of the video because it's become the big whoop-de-doo. It's been in the news a couple of days. Typically, I wouldn't talk about or show video of something that's been in the news for a couple of days because I'm like, whatever. But I'm not going to let these fools gaslight us. We know what we saw when Barack Obama essentially ushered Joe Biden, a senile Joe Biden, off the stage. And we have Karine Jean-Pierre telling us not to believe our eyes. So listen, I'm done with the gaslighting from the left. We have to show this stuff so that they don't continue to gaslight us. But I want you to understand, too, when it comes to the Democrat Party, you're not safe. Illegal aliens are going to come in. They're going to rape your wives. They're going to rape your daughters. I hate to be so vulgar, but it's true. It's true. And they are inviting the worst of the worst, or bringing the worst of the worst into our country. I know there's some good people that just want a better life mixed in there, but we don't have the time. We don't have the resources to figure it out. That's why we have legal immigration. That's why we let in nearly 1 million people every single year legally to go through a legal process. So all of this stuff that we're talking about when it comes to illegal immigration, including the new DACA or the new mass amnesty that I'll talk to you about in a second, that Biden proposed today, that Biden signed. I think he signed an executive order to. I'll get into that. I'll read some of the details. All of this stuff is going to come to a head, and we're all going to be in a much more dangerous situation, and it is happening quick, fast, and in a hurry. So you wonder why I don't listen to polls. I don't listen to polls because Democrats cheat. I don't listen to polls because communists will do whatever it takes to win, and that means that we've got to do legally, because you know that we'll be the ones that end up in jail. But legally, we got to make sure that we hustle. We got to make sure that we tell people why we believe what we believe. Be ready. Just like, I'm a Christian. So if you're a Christian, you got to be ready to give an account for what you believe. The same is true for conservatism, in my opinion, politically speaking. And I believe they're closely aligned in my opinion. But you guys heard about the Secret Service agent. I believe he was in Tustin, California, or Orange County, California. For those of you that don't know, I'm originally born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Now, I didn't get to live in the pretty neighborhoods, but I got to drive by them and through them on occasion. And I always dreamed of living in some of these gorgeous neighborhoods. California is one of the most beautiful. For those of you that have never been there, if you could avoid the poop maps and all this kind of stuff, it is the most beautiful state there is, in my opinion. Within an hour, you can go to the desert, you can go to the mountains, you can go to the beach. I mean, anywhere where you are in California, you can experience some type of different atmosphere, some type of different environment. And Gabe, you got to let me know if somebody is chiming in live. I'm sorry, guys. I'm new to this. I'm learning this system. So I do want to say what's up to you guys and thank you. And anybody that might have a question, feel free to chime in or whatever. I certainly appreciate that. Or that would be cool. But this Secret Service agent was robbed. Joe Biden's Secret Service agent, right after that fundraiser, I think he was on detail with Joe Biden at the fundraiser that he attended with Barack Obama and all these Hollywood stars. And then 36 minutes later, because the event ended at 9 p.m., this guy was, I guess, officially off detail, although I'm not exactly sure. But at 9:36 anyway, he arrived at a location, I guess, where he was going to be staying at 9:36 p.m., all right, and Pacific time, all right? And then this fool was robbed. He was robbed, a Secret Service agent. Now, he was able to pull out his pistol and allegedly pop a cap or at least shoot at that person. But I'm sitting here thinking, these are the takeaways. First off, in California, no one is safe. You can look like, have you ever seen a Secret Service agent? They just look like they'll murder you. You know what I'm saying? They've got the look. They've got the thing always in their ear. They're always stacked. They're always, usually big guys. And they look like they are ready for combat at a drop of a freaking dime. So this guy gets robbed in a very nice neighborhood. So what does that tell you? When liberals are in charge, it doesn't matter where you're at. No one is safe. Doesn't matter who you are. No one is safe. But the remedy was this guy was packing, obviously, because he was a Secret Service agent. But in California, you're not allowed to pack. In case the criminals want to rob you, you better sit there and take it. This is why I can't stand the left. That's why I can't stand the left. But that was Joe Biden's Secret Service agent because he gets to be protected. That senile fart. Anyway, but that's that. I wanted to share that story with you. Listen, guys, before I go on, today's show is brought to you in part by Priority Gold. You know Joe Biden is trying to make you broke as a joke. Let's just be real. So you've got to start investing, guys. You got to start saving. You got to get out of debt, even if it's a 401k, whatever. You got to get there. But I want to share with you my new sponsor, Priority Gold. For those of you that are interested in gold, economists warn that massive tax hikes could devastate your IRA and your 401k account as the stock market braces for impact. With inflation on the rise and global uncertainty looming, it's clear why central banks and savvy Americans are turning to gold. It's in times like this, Proverbs 21:20 reminds us to preserve what we built. Right now, that wisdom points us towards gold. If you haven't had your eye on gold, time to make it a priority. Hi, my name is Carl Jackson, and I urge you to call my friends at Priority Gold, okay, to find out how they can help you diversify your savings and your physical gold and silver. Call 1-800-405-GOLD. Again, that number, 1-800-405-GOLD, or visit prioritygold.com/golden for a free gold info guide. Plus, see if you qualify for free shipping and storage as well. Act now to get your portfolio working for you while the market is golden. Call again, the number 1-800-405-GOLD to speak with a gold specialist, or visit prioritygold.com/golden. Again, prioritygold.com/golden to learn more, or give them a call. That's 1-800-405-GOLD. Okay, so I want to go to the cut sheet for those of you that may be familiar with the business. I do have a cut sheet, but Gabe, I have to admit to you, I've already lost my place on the cut sheet because I am oh, here it is. Gabe just got lucky. Actually, he didn't get lucky. I just got lucky. All right, but I want to share this with you. This is Karine Jean-Pierre. Actually, let's do this. Let's play cut number 2. Karine Jean-Pierre just said the countless videos of Biden lost and confused are deep fakes. And then let's go back to clip 1. So first, let's play video clip 2 of the not so notorious KGP saying that the countless videos of Joe Biden are cheap fakes. Now, she said cheap fakes instead of deep fakes. I know the proper terminology is deep fakes, and a lot of conservatives are, she said cheap fakes. Guys, I don't give a flip. I don't give a flip. What I care about is that these people will lie to your face. Again, know that they're lying to your face. Know that you know that they're lying to your face, and they'll lie to you anyway because they're communists. That's what terrifies the crap out of me, if I'm being real. All right, so let's go ahead and play it. Video clip number 2, por favor, Gabe. And again, I'm working on my Spanish.
It tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here. Instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, what he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos. And it is, again,
she got it right
in
today.
bad faith.
All right, so we're seeing deep fakes. Let's see some of those deep fakes, Gabe. Let's go to video clip number 1. Por favor, Mr. Gaciano.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president.
Now watch this. I want you to watch this, fool. Talked about this.
Look
Look at him. Look at him. Look at where he's looking.
Wow. The White House is especially worried about.
Everybody's talking about the parachuter that's in front of him.
Yeah,
the parachuter wasn't even looking at him. The parachuter never even looked up towards him. If you
they are done in bad faith.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these right-wing critics
fakes
of the president have a credibility
of
problem
all these real things
because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation. And so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world.
Yo, you can
calling
have some
them
ice
cheap
cream as soon
fakes
as we
and
get behind these
misinformation.
doors.
And
Don't poop your
I'll
pants,
quote
all
the
right? Hold
Washington
on tight.
Post, where they
There
wrote,
we go.
wrote
There
about
we
this,
go.
and
You
they
did it.
said how
You did it.
Republicans
That's what
used
Barack
misleading
Obama was
videos
thinking.
to
I
attack
was just...
Biden in a 24-hour period.
Oh, look at him. Look at him
And
getting
to
real
their
close
credit,
to the Pope.
we have a conservative
Oh, look
Washington
at it.
Examiner
What?
did call them
Whoa,
out as well,
whoa. Be
calling out
careful
the
there,
New York
homie.
Post. Ironically, several recent cheap fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. For thanking troops. That is what they're attacking the president for. Both in Normandy, this happened, and again in Italy. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how,
Will you cut off
how
this check?
desperate.
One of the
how
things that
desperate
frustrates me
Republicans are
about
here.
KGP is not only is she not so bright. All right, let's just be real. She's dumb. I don't want to sound mean, but let's be real. She's dumb, but she's also condescending. And I believe she has an Ivy League degree, if I'm not mistaken, which tells you everything you need to know about the Ivy League, in my opinion. I know there's some brilliant, smart people that go to the Ivy League, but when you allow people, or it tells you about affirmative action, DEI, CRT, there's people like this that shouldn't be allowed in schools like that. I'm sorry. She's one of them. There's no way that chick should have been allowed anywhere near an Ivy League school. That's it. That is just absolutely insane. The same is true with that chick on on MSNBC, Joy Reid, the black chick with the blonde dyed hair or whatever. But it's insane. All right, so what is Joe Biden's remedy? What is Joe Biden's remedy? Because Joe Biden is cratering in the polls. His black support is absolutely cratering. And again, I'm not one of these people like many out there on the right that are saying Joe Biden is going to, or Donald Trump is going to win 30% of the black vote. I don't believe that. I do believe that Trump can get anywhere from 15, maybe even 20%. I doubt that he gets 20%, but I'm hopeful. And I hope that I'm wrong. But here's what you need to understand. He doesn't need to get 20%. If Donald Trump gets, X amount of voters or X amount of black support in swing states, that's where it counts. So you're looking at Michigan, you're looking at Pennsylvania, you're looking at Arizona, you're looking at Wisconsin. Those are the states that you're looking at. Maybe you're looking at union workers. If Trump can peel off those voters, if Trump can peel off, let's say, black votes in those areas, in those swing states, that's where it's going to count. He can get, he can get 40, 50% of the black vote. It doesn't matter unless he gets them in the right place. Now, it will matter for down ballot races. So let me make that clear. So it is important. We do want to increase the black vote. And I appreciate what Donald Trump is doing by going to some of these areas that blacks typically don't go to. I appreciate the fact that he went to the South Bronx. The South Bronx. I praised him for that. The same is true with Detroit. That was so important because I just think you need to show up. Everybody says you need to have a plan for the black vote and we got to do this and we got to do that. No, tell them our history as Republicans. Tell them who we are. Tell them what we stand for. Tell them that we fight for every single American, regardless of skin color. Yeah, that's it. But show up. Listen, our ideas work for you too. I have nothing against you. I don't, I want to see you blessed. And if you follow these ideas, if you follow these principles, if you follow our policies, you're going to be blessed. Just show up. And even if they hate you, they'll realize the truth one day. That's what's starting to happen. Let me read this information for you. This came in this morning. We'll get to some illegal immigration as well. I had a great podcast last week with Mark Krikorian of the Center for Immigration Studies. That's going to be on the Salem News Channel this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you guys check that out. I mean, illegal immigration and the deep state are the top issues. Now, I know the economy is what's impacting everybody. Everybody's going to vote on the economy. I get it. But the biggest threat to our democratic republic, we don't have a democracy. Democracy is mob rule. Democracy is what the left want. That's what the left wants you to believe. They want you to believe that a democracy entails censoring you, that a democracy entails getting rid of the electoral college, that a democracy entails you better think the way that they think or they're going to kick your butt. That's what a democracy is. It is mob rule. That's not what we have. All right. We have a democratic republic. democracy in this sense, that everyone gets to participate in the Republican process, but we elect our officials to represent us. That is a democratic, everyone gets to participate republic where we elect our representatives. All right. Big difference. We don't have a democracy. I get annoyed with conservatives saying that without clarifying it. And I know there's some out on the left, oh, Republicans don't even know what a democracy is. You know, they're saying that democracy and republic are the same. These guys are, they're just propagandists. I'm sorry, that's where we are now. It's scary, it's crazy, but it is where we are. All right, so let me give you this bit of news. If I can find it, allow me to scroll. This was on the tip sheet this morning. By the way, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Por favor. All things social media at the Carl Jackson Show. I'm on X, Instagram, Facebook, True Social Getter. Wherever I am on social media at the Carl Jackson Show is where you can go to find me. So I want to give you this bit of information, and then I want to talk to you real quickly about My Pillow in just a second, because that is so important. All right, Lord, and I'm convicted. Whenever I mention the words My Pillow, I don't sleep that good, but I tell you what, I sleep better when I have a My Pillow. We'll get into that in just a second. But listen to this. Okay, so you want to know why Biden has proposed mass amnesty again, that we'll get into in just a second? It's because of not only it's cratering poll numbers. You can go and look at the Real Clear Politics average, and you look at the aggregate of polling, and you'll see that Trump is doing well. As a matter of fact, I'll check that out in just a second. You'll see that Trump is performing well in the swing states. Now, mind you, it is 5 months out. We have a debate next week. By the way, I'll be in Washington, D.C. for the debate. So anyway, there's a debate next week, okay, between Biden and, I was going to say between Biden and Joe Biden, but between Biden and Trump. But it might be, in Biden's case, between Biden and Joe Biden, because that fool is going to have a hard time remembering stuff. But listen, I want to be careful, because I think he's going to go in there, and I think he's going to do what he always does. He may be talking like this and blah, 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 but I think he's going to surprise people. I think he always does. Whatever they give him, he always manages to surprise people, and he always does enough to keep those that want to justify their votes for him, voting for him. We'll get into this Iowa poll in just shortly here. But all right, so listen to this. This is from the Daily Wire earlier today. So Joe Biden is plummeting in the polls among black voters, while support for former President Donald Trump is climbing. This, according to an analysis by CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton. You guys may have seen him on CNN with these charts. Oh, man, you know, Republicans or Trump is doing good here, blah, blah, blah. Biden should be concerned. I mean, he's trying to be legitimate. He seems like he's reporting legitimately. Enton said on the network on Monday morning that the most recent polling data compared to polls at the same point in 2020, in the 2020 campaign, show that Trump is careening towards a historic performance, quote unquote, among black voters. The presumptive Republican nominee is up from 7% support from black voters at this point in 2020 to 21% now. This, according to CNN's data. Meanwhile, Biden has fallen 16 points. So Trump has jumped 14 points. Biden has fallen 16 points, sitting at 70%. Biden is among black voters now, compared to 86% at this point in 2020. Now, is it going to get any better for Joe Biden? Listen, I don't know. Here's what I suspect. And I think this will benefit Trump as well. A lot of people are thinking 20% of black voters will show up to the polls, 21% to vote for Donald Trump. I don't necessarily believe that. But I believe enough will show up where Trump needs them to be able to eke out a victory. But Democrats will cheat. That's what we know too. That's what mass amnesty is about as well. But we also know this, and this is very, very important. We also know this, right? That oh man. Okay. I'm getting an important text. Anyway, but we also know this. Fewer people are going to show up for Joe Biden. That's important too. It's not just that more people are going to show up, blacks in particular, and vote for Donald Trump, likely. It's also true that fewer blacks are going to show up and vote for Joe Biden. And that's the rub. That's where these fools are really, really scared. So you consider that poll And that leads to what happened earlier today. And I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second. But before I do want to talk to you about mypillow.com. You guys have to remember that Mike Lindell is an American entrepreneur. This is a guy that achieved the American dream. This is a guy, if you guys don't know Mike's story, literally went from crackhead to American dream. This guy was selling drugs to some of the employees that now work for him, or buying drugs. I'm sorry. For some of the employees that got their lives together now and work for him. I believe at least 3 of them, if I recall the story correctly. So this is a guy that went from crackhead to literally on top of the world by the grace of God, and he contributes it all to the glory of God. So right now, you guys know that he's been basically kicked out of the big box stores, kicked off of the shopping networks, and they hate that fool because he loves America. So here's what he's willing to do. He's offering a $25 extravaganza exclusive to all of my listeners. All right. So when Mike started this business, My Pillow business, he had one product that was the My Pillow. But now, with help from his dedicated employees, they have hundreds of products. All right. So believe it or not, all you have to do is go to mypillow.com, click on the radio podcast square at the top of the page, and enter my name, Carl. All right. And if you do that, then all of these deals become available to you. $25 extravaganza. They've got 2-pack multi-use My Pillows, just $25. My Pillow sandals, $25. A 6-pack towel sets are $25. Brand new 4-pack of dish towels, just $25. All right, mypillow.com. Promo code Carl. All right, CARL. I don't spell it like the communist. They also have My Pillows with the all new Giza fabric. If you guys haven't felt that, really, really soft. You'll love that. Those are just $25. Orders over $75 will receive free shipping as well. So this won't last forever. So go to mypillow.com, click on that radio podcast square, and enter my name, Carl, CARL, or you can give them a call at 800-858-0263. Again, that number is 800-858-0263 is the number. Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of heads up. Guys, let me ask you something too. This is so weird, but my iPhone cracked, and I feel like my hand tingles when I use it. Does anybody else feel? Has that happened to anybody else, or am I going crazy? I'm like scared to hold it now. I'm scared that I'm getting radiation poisoning as I'm holding it. But I want to share this story with you. I need to take a swig before I do. Uh-oh, I just dropped my lid. All right. So let me share this story with you if I can find it here. I have it saved on my phone. Okay, here it is. So this was the news that broke today. And as a matter of fact, we'll show you video of it. So Biden announces a sweeping protections for migrant spouses of U.S. citizens. So illegal aliens. But this is from Fox Business. They always try to be politically correct, and I get it. They're fair and balanced, right? So I understand why they would say that. But we're talking about illegal immigration. We're talking about mass amnesty. This is what it amounts to. Now, never mind the fact that we've had at least 10 million illegals. I know some of the official numbers are 8 million. Some people say 8 million. I've heard people say 10 million. I've heard people say as many as 15 million, because we don't know how many getaways have come through. When we talk about 8 million people, oftentimes we're talking about people that have come through the ports of entry. But what about all the people that are coming between the ports of entry? What about all the people that we never see altogether? So we have no idea. All we know is a buttload of illegal aliens have come into the country since Joe Biden has come out, or illegal immigrants. Let me say that so I don't get kicked off of freaking YouTube. So illegal immigrants have come into the country since Joe Biden has been in office. And on top of that, they're going to double down. So what does Biden do? What is his remedy? Oh, I'm sinking in the polls. Oh, I'm sinking. My black support is cratering. I got an idea. Mass amnesty. And it's not just Joe Biden. It is his entire staff. All of these people are corrupt as all get out. This is what you need to understand. I feel like none of these people should be allowed to work in federal government. None of these people should be given pensions, especially when they're making us broke. But here's the story. Here's a summary. This according to Fox News. Biden today announced new rules aimed to protect the migrant spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation. All All right, so basically illegal immigrant spouses of U.S. citizens. So the Department of Homeland Security. This is through Mayorkas. This is another reason, man. I can stop at almost every sentence. I'm going to contain myself or restrain myself so that I don't. But the Department of Homeland Security. This is something that I rail against all the time, and I want you guys to understand this. One of the things that has to happen with the Republican presidency and, Lord willing, a House and a Senate is we have to amputate as many of these 3-word organizations, bureaucracies as possible. FBI, IRS, DHS. Oh, Carl, you're just an extremist. No. These fools, what they do is they circumvent the will of the people. They cut us out of the process. That's not the way our government is supposed to work. Have you ever heard about the Department of Homeland Security and the Constitution? Of course you haven't. Anyway, well, so the DHS will implement a new policy to allow some migrants, wink, wink, to apply for lawful permanent resident status. That means they're not going anywhere ever. That's what that means. Including the non-citizen spouses, so illegal immigrant spouses and illegal immigrant children of lawful U.S. permanent residents or citizens. So you see that it's even a lie in the way they framed it. So again, today, Biden announced new rules aimed to protect the migrant spouses of U.S. citizens. But then you learn it's not spouses of U.S. citizens. It's spouses of U.S. residents or citizens. See, if they're citizens, you don't have to worry about this. Because if you're an American citizen and you marry an immigrant, guess what? That immigrant becomes a citizen, right? They get their green card. But if you're an illegal, you see how they do us? See how they do us dirty? So the White House said it expected the policy to offer protection to about 500,000 American families. 500,000 American families. So that means, I don't know, it could be a family of 6 for all we know. We don't know how many people this entails. 500,000 American families. It could be a 2-family home, a 3-family home. You know what I'm saying? It could be a 10-family home. We have no idea what the numbers will be. That'll include roughly 50,000 under the age of 21 who are married to or have children of a U.S. Or are a child of a U.S. citizen. The White House fact sheet provided this to Fox on the plan, laid out that the eligibility requirements for the new rules included that spouses of Americans must have resided in the U.S. for 10 years or more and be legally married to a U.S. citizen while satisfying other immigration requirements. What? Those who are approved under the program would be able to apply for permanent U.S. residency after a 3-year period, while also being eligible for work authorization in the U.S. for up to 3 years, so they say. The president's new rules also would ease the visa process for U.S. college graduates. What does that mean? So remember all of those anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas protesters that we saw on college campuses that were dumb as hell and didn't realize that if there were queers for Palestine, if they actually went to Gaza, they would be killed, those morons. So he's going to ease the visa process for people like that, including recipients of the Obama. Listen to this. This is cruel. This is cruel. I'm going to read this paragraph verbatim from Fox. The president's new rules also would ease the visa process for U.S. college graduates, including recipients of the Obama-era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, to stay in the U.S. if they received a degree from a U.S. educational institution and have an offer of employment from a U.S.-based company. Here's what you need to know. These people, these young people, these that were in the country, I don't think they had to fear deportation. But what Barack Obama decided to do, and now Joe Biden has done the same, they've decided to make these people cruelly. This is cruel. This is cruelty. Political ping pongs. They basically want to keep them in fear. Hey, vote for me and you'll get this. Right? Vote for me, and we won't hunt you down and deport you. You get to stay here. These people, they're not going anywhere anyway. But this is how cruel the Democrat Party is. This is what you need to understand. The article goes on. Asked if the new policies would apply to those who have entered the U.S., listen to this, illegally. So they were asked, the DHS, by they were asked by Fox News, Biden's White House, was asked by Fox News if the new policies would apply to those who have entered the U.S. illegally. All right. A White House spokesperson said the rules would apply to, listen to this, quote, individuals who are eligible under existing U.S. law to be able to adjust their status. What we are announcing are essentially streamlined processes. This is the White House spokesperson. All right. Adding that the administration was attempting to create a, quote, streamlined processes that would, quote, ensure some predictability, close quote, for those that are eligible for permanent resident status. So basically what they're saying is, yeah, we're going to let illegals in. Yeah, we're going to let them apply because we've got an election to win. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Guys, we have to win in such numbers. And you've got to win locally. You got to get there. I don't know what's going on in this election tonight. There's an election that really makes me mad. I'm not going to lie to you. And I say this as a person that loves Donald Trump, but I'm not happy with what he's doing, working with Kevin McCarthy, the former Rhino Speaker of the House, who I thought was more effective than Mike Johnson, if I'm being fair. But to try to get Bob Good of the Freedom Caucus out because Bob Good didn't endorse Trump in the primary. I think that's crazy. Bob Good has like a 95, 98%, conservative rating. He rolled with Trump while Trump was in, and then he decided to back DeSantis. Now he's back with Trump. Trump doesn't like that. He wants absolute loyalty. That's insane. You just want somebody that's going to be loyal to your policies. And now that you're the big dog, Bob Good was like, dude, I got your back. I want to fight for the same things you're going to fight for. What you don't have to worry about is Bob Good. He says Bob Good will stab him in the back. No, he won't. Not when it comes to your policies. But he thought that there was somebody that was more effective, would be more effective. What's wrong with that? That's America. That's America. It drives me nuts. I feel like Republicans just like to lose. So now you got Trump endorsing a moderate. And I know he's a Navy SEAL. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to listen, I know that I'm ghetto fabulous. I give props to these guys like Navy SEAL. These are heroes, man. I give them the utmost props. It doesn't mean they make good politicians. Look at Dan Crenshaw. Brilliant. Guy is really smart. The guy's a war hero. There's no doubt about it, right? But he's also a lot less conservative than we all expected. So I'm sorry. Hey, when you say you're in the military and you're running, that used to impress me. It doesn't anymore, especially after seeing our woke military that has adopted every cultural Marxist theory imaginable. I'm sorry. That doesn't impress me. So you want to replace a guy that has a 95% a conservative voting record with somebody that has like a 75%? Are you kidding me? It makes no sense. So the person that's more likely to keep MAGA policies is the guy you want out. Are you kidding? Are you for real? See, this is stupidity. This is why I'm like, man, I sometimes I wonder if people really want to make the country great again. I really do. I really do. Makes me mad. I'm not saying that Trump doesn't, but I wonder if voters do sometimes. I'm like, I just think Trump has McCarthy in his ear blowing smoke. Oh, he did this to you. He did. Just absolutely insane. So anyway, I'm not sure what's going on there. Just real quick, because I told you that I would do this, but looking at all the battleground states, just real quick, real clear politics averages. Guys, 5 months away. I don't get too hyped on this because this could change, right? But Trump in Arizona is up over Biden currently. This is an aggregate of polls, again, a bunch of polls, right? And then they come up with averages. 4.6%. Up in Nevada, he's up by 5.3%. That's huge, by the way. If that maintains, that would be amazing. Wisconsin, it's basically a tie. Trump up 0.1%. Michigan, Same thing, basically a tie, Trump up 0.3%, but he's ahead. He's ahead in all of these swing states, Georgia, North Carolina, even Pennsylvania. His lead is expanding. So what does Biden do? Biden sees that he's hemorrhaging support. So what does he do? Mass amnesty. Mass amnesty. I mean, it's absolutely stunning to me. So what do you do? What do you do when you're polling bad, when you're losing black supporters? Amnesty, that's what you do. That is what you do. All right, guys, let me share this sponsor with you. And then I want to talk to you a couple more things that I want to bring to you. All right, guys, I want to talk to you about wealth protection research, because let's face it, these fools are trying to make a country of the have and have nots. All right. That's exactly what the left is trying to do. It's them against us. That's the way that I see it. It is the elites. It is the communists. It is the godless, the useful idiots of the elites and the communists and the godless against us, against all of us that love our freedoms, that love God, that love the Constitution, that love this country, that love capitalism. It is them against us. That's the way that I view this election. And I'm not convinced, even if Trump wins, I'm not convinced that we get to turn everything around, but I hope we get to turn a lot around, because I think a lot of rhinos are going to come out of the woodwork when it's time to retain their jobs. I think Trump, if he wins, Lord Jesus, please. And I pray that we also win the House and the Senate with some great candidates, and those great candidates will be up to you guys. Do this. I don't care if they say MAGA. I don't care. As a matter of fact, if they say MAGA, if they say American first, even more reason to check their Liberty score. Even more reason to, because I think there's a lot of frauds out there. I guarantee you, because Trump is going to have to fight like all get out. So you're going to have people that say MAGA, 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 MAGA. You know what I'm saying? Get tattooed. I'm all for you. 6 months into his presidency, you know what they're going to start doing? They're going to start running for re-election, and they're going to determine if Trump is a liability or a benefit for their campaign. That's what's going to happen. Because within a year, 2 years max, he's going to be basically lame duck. That's what's going to happen. And the only thing that's going to keep those fools in check is going to be you. So remember that. Remember that. All right. Wealth protection research. At the very heart of our democracy lies a principle that we hold sacred: free speech. It's the cornerstone that supports every freedom that we cherish. Yet in today's digital age, discussions about our wealth, our rights, and our future are being silenced or overshadowed in mainstream narratives, leaving many feeling voiceless in conversations that are crucial to our financial independence and security. Man, I got a story I got to share with you. This is where wealth protection research steps in. They are armed with a mission that's never been more critical. Wealth protection research is not a financial advisory firm. They are defenders of free speech. They're committed to giving a voice to the silence. Wealth protection research tirelessly seeks out financial experts. These are the voices that challenge prevailing narratives, especially as we navigate the uncertainties of the 2024 election. Wealth Protection Research has created a 2024 Election Wealth Protection Report. This free report highlights the 3 best ideas for protecting and growing your money heading into the 2024 election. It contains ideas the mainstream media won't touch, and listeners can get it completely free. All you have to do is text the word IDEAS, that is IDEAS, to the number 76626 to claim your free copy. If you believe in the sanctity of free speech and the importance of financial freedom, act now. Text the word IDEAS to 76626 to claim your free copy of the 2024 Election Protection Report. It's time to widen the scope of what we're told, to hear the ideas the establishment does not think you can handle, and to take control of your financial destinies. Text the word IDEAS to 76626. Okay, a few more videos that I want to share with you guys, and then I want to wrap up with this New York Post, how non-citizens are getting voter registration, and some poll numbers. Again, what is Biden's remedy for cratering poll numbers and losing black support? It is mass amnesty. So I'm going to give you some more poll numbers that has the Biden administration and all of those that are running this administrative state. Because what I do believe that Joe Biden has more say than a lot of people know. But I think essentially what they have is a system, right? They have an administrative state. Hey guys, we got to figure out something for this. So DHS does this. Merrick Garland at the DOJ does this. You know what I'm saying? But they work in tandem to make sure that they're increasing the span of government, big government, and at the same time trying to destroy Trump, fight again. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So I believe there's a system that is in place, and that is important to remember. All right, let me find some. Let me go back to the cut sheet. Because I want to find, there's some things that I want to be sure and show you. Let's see here. We did that. Yes, indeed. Ooh. Oh, I do want to share this story with you. As Biden continues to open the borders, another illegal has been arrested for raping a 13-year-old girl. Let's just play the video. Video clip number 3, please, Gabe.
We are back with some headlines, starting with this, a Fox News alert. A migrant from Ecuador arrested this morning for allegedly raping a 13-year-old girl in a New York City park. Fox News obtaining this exclusive photo of the guy without his shirt on. You can see it there. That's when he was being arrested. According to police, the suspect used a knife to force a boy and a girl into a secluded part of that park in Queens in broad daylight. He then tied their wrists and raped the young girl. Authorities say he stole their phones and then ran off. Investigators say the migrant suspect entered the country illegally back in 2021. Another Boeing.
All right. That's one. And then you have the story with Rachel Moran, mother of 5, jogging in Baltimore, raped and murdered by an illegal immigrant. So now she's got 5 kids that are going to grow up without their mother. Not only are they going to not grow up without their mother, but they're going to have to learn the horrible way in which their mother died. It's just disgusting, man. It's just disgusting. And in the midst of all this, in the midst of these big news stories, this fool, Joe Biden, allows more illegals in, and his staff, his administration, Jill Biden, Sullivan, all of these people that are working together in order to destroy this country, to fundamentally change it, because they are so busy. They are so desperate for power, maintaining their power in order to fundamentally transform America. They'll do whatever it takes to win. And I mean whatever it takes to win, whether it is prosecuting their political opponent in Donald Trump, whether it's putting J6ers in jail that never even went to the Capitol for 22 years, whether it's putting Derek Chauvin in prison for killing George Floyd when he didn't kill George Floyd in fentanyl, whatever they have to do, the left will do. That's what you need to understand. This is what we're up against. And I hear some conservatives, well, you know, some of the extreme people on the right are saying this and saying that. And are you kidding me? Are you watching what's happening? I'm sorry. There's no such thing as all right, let me be careful. I don't think there's any such thing as an extreme Republican. You mean somebody that believes in what? The rule of law? Somebody that believes that babies' lives are worth saving? Somebody that believes in free speech? Somebody that believes that when you work hard, you should keep more of your money? Somebody that believes that illegal aliens shouldn't be let into the country to rape 13-year-old girls? People that believe that the military shouldn't be woke? People that believe that we should be energy independent? People that believe that we should have the best education system in the world instead of indoctrinating our kids, teach them reading, writing, and arithmetic? What the hell is extreme about that? So sick of that crap. Even hear conservatives say it. Like, screw you. Here's what we're up against. Let's roll this. The Biden regime, this is video clip number 4 again. The Biden regime sent the FBI to the home of a nurse at Texas Children's Hospital. I'm going to talk about this a little more extensively later in the week. But the Biden regime sent the FBI, this from Libs of TikTok, to the home of a nurse at Texas Children's Hospital who exposed the transgender treatments they were doing. Politically motivated intimidation. Here's what you need to know. It is illegal to perform these mutilations, if you will. I'm not going to call them surgeries on children. And you have doctors that were illegally doing the practice anyway. This young doctor exposed them. He was a whistleblower. And for being a whistleblower, because doctors were breaking the law and mutilating children, the FBI comes after him. Video clip number 4, por favor, Gabe.
Hello? Hi. I'm looking for Vanessa Sivage.
Okay. Yeah. Who are you? Cassie.
I'll make some FBI agent.
Okay.
This is Mr. McBride.
Hey, I'm David McBride.
Okay. Nice to meet you, sir.
Let me
It's
do
a
it.
very pleasant interaction. You're not in any trouble nor to see.
Okay. All right.
Hi, how are you? She snuck up on you there. You want to see too? Are we interrupting dinner? I'm really sorry.
That's all right. What's going on?
Let me start at the beginning. So I'm sure you're aware of some of the things that have been going on at your work lately.
What the?
With regards to,
Yeah. So I gotta. Can we sit down for a minute? Let me do my song and dance.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me say this. I don't ever speak to cops, even good ones, without an attorney. Don't ever speak to an FBI agent without an attorney. I wouldn't have even said anything. Did you see that tactic that he used? Hey, I'm sure you guys are familiar with what's been going on at your work. First off, what the hell is a federal agent doing at my door for something that occurred at work? And then you're trying to lead me? You're trying to coax me into saying something? I don't like these jackasses. I'm telling you right now, the FBI needs to be amputated. I love what Stephen Friend has said, FBI whistleblower. You need to take away these foods guns. Anything that they need to do, they need to be tied. They should have to be attached. If they're not abolished, they should be attached to the hips of the local sheriff's department so these foods can't go around and intimidate people for nothing, for straight up BS. That's insane. That is insane. Don't ever, listen to me, don't you ever speak to a cop without an attorney. I used to watch, I don't watch it anymore. I couldn't take it. But 48, was first 48 or whatever? And listen, you know all these guys did dirty. You know all of them are guilty, all right, for the most part. Allegedly, all right? But I wouldn't even talk then. I would encourage people not to talk then. That's our system. Like it or not, that's our system. Make sure you have an attorney. Even if you can't afford one will be appointed to you. Make sure you get that public defender before you say anything ever. Ever. All right. Major lesson for the day. I think Gabe probably needed to hear that most. All right. So now let me move on. Just real quick. I'll share these so that we can get out of here. All right. So here's another reason why Biden is and his administration are running scared, because these foods don't want to be, have to be held accountable for what they did. They don't want to lose power. And God forbid, they don't, no, I shouldn't say God forbid, because I want them to. They don't want to end up having to pay the price for some of the things that they've done. Oh, and this is, by the way, I need to play these too, because I forgot about these. We'll get 6 and 7 up in just a second. Gabe, we'll play 7 first and then 6, but once I give you the cue, and then we'll get out of here. All right, because it's basically Biden talking about amnesty, and then Trump responding to it at a rally that he had earlier today. All right, so here's this. Trump maintains big lead over Biden and RFK Jr. despite felony conviction, Iowa poll shows. So this is the Des Moines Register Iowa poll. This is a great microcosm of what's happening in the country. This is the gold standard, many people believe. So this is 2 weeks after the sham trial in New York, where they branded Trump a felon, and they want to use that. Already the Biden administration are running $50 million worth of ads just calling Trump a convicted felon for the sake of it. But this new Des Moines Register Mediacom Iowa poll shows Trump leads Biden 50% to 32% among likely voters in Iowa. So RFK Jr., who says he's qualified for Iowa's ballot as well, earns 9%. Another 2% of likely Iowa voters picked the Libertarian candidate, Chase Oliver. I went over some of this yesterday, but I'm going to go through a little more of this. 3% say they would vote for someone else. 1% would not vote, and 3% are not sure. The results come less than 5 months out from Election Day and before either candidate has formally accepted their party's nomination, which will happen this summer. They also come weeks after, obviously, the sham trial. The February poll showed that the February IRO poll showed that Trump led Biden 48 to 33%. So it isn't a huge difference, but what it does show is decline for Joe Biden. Another 15% at that time said they would vote for someone else. They have a example of a woman by the name of Donald Scher. Or a man, Donald Scher, 63-year-old Waterloo resident and poll resident, said he became a Republican because of Trump and plans to vote for him in November. Here's some of the stats among likely voters who name a first choice candidate. 67% said their minds are already made up. So you got whether it's Biden, whether it's Trump, 67% of voters altogether, mind is made up. 29% say they can still be persuaded. 3% do not name a first choice candidate. Trump support is on lock at 76%. So among Trump supporters, 76% say their minds are made up. 24% say they could be persuaded. Biden supporters, 81% say they are say that they are infirm. Say they're locked in on Biden, but 19% say they could be persuaded. And then you have the other candidates. Kennedy supporters, 82% say they could be persuaded. So that's how you know that, he would top out at 18%, right? But he's not going to get that many, but he probably will get enough to do damage to Joe Biden. At least I hope. 87% of Oliver supporters and 60% of those supporting someone else. Oliver has 60% that say they could be persuaded. All right. So this poll was conducted June 9th through 4th. By Seltzer and Company of Des Moines. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 3.5 percentage points. The questions of 632 likely voters have a margin of error of plus or minus 3.9 percentage points. Now, I think they only polled 800 something people, if I'm not mistaken. But all indications are these people are straight up gold in the polling industry. As the candidates move into the general election, Biden's approval rating among all Iowans remains low. So his approval rating is only 28%. Another 67% disapprove of his performance as president. 5% aren't sure. That's down a tick from 29% approval that he earned in February, which was horrible. And his 30% showing in March 2023, which was horrible then. But here's the rub. This is consistent decline. This is what's happening here. 77% of Democrats approve of Biden's performance. 97% of Republicans disapprove. Now, this is good news for Donald Trump, right? This is good news, in my opinion, because 97% of Republicans disapproving of Biden's performance mean none of them are going to vote for Biden, even show votes, even protest votes against former President Trump. Virtually none of them. Independents largely disapprove of Biden. This is why he's scared too. That's why more illegal immigration. So independents tilt toward disapproval more than 2-1, 69% disapproving and 24% approving of the president's performance. When it comes to old fogies, just kidding. 65-year-olds, so Biden performs best with those that are 65 years old or older, so the boomers, if you will. But a greater share disapproves than approves. So even the greater share of boomers disapprove of Joe Biden. Among that group, 46% say they approve, 52% say they disapprove. That's in contrast with the younger voters, those that are 35, younger than 35, who are Biden's worst demographic. Just 15% of those younger voters say that they approve of Biden's job performance. 76% disapprove. That's slightly worse than February, when 21% approved and 76% disapproved. All right. When it comes to some of the issues, Biden's approval ratings are also low across a range of issues facing the country. Iowans rate the president highest for his handling of abortion, with 32% saying they approve, but 52% say they disapprove of Biden's take on abortion. And then what else? Another lady said she was reluctant to vote for. Daniel Godkin, a 23-year-old Cedar Falls resident and poll respondent, said she plans to vote for Biden this fall, but reluctantly. So this is somebody that might be swayed. I'm not sure. She says, I kind of picked my lesser of two evils, which is a stupid argument, by the way. In a sense, who has a bachelor's degree. She has a bachelor's degree in political science. It wasn't an easy decision to come to, but I felt that Biden was the most closely aligned with my values. Well, what the heck are your values? Just abortion? That's it. That's all you're good for. You're just worried about a guy that's going to use you, parlez-vous français, you, if you will, and leave you to have. That's all you're worried about. That's all you're worried about in the world. This, to me, this should be degrading to women. Hey, here's what I'm voting for. I want to go out and I want to act like a skank, and I want to. That's it. Honestly, it's astonishing. I'm surprised. Actually, I shouldn't be surprised. This world is people are so silly. It's amazing. She said President Biden, I think, really does align himself with the Democratic Party, that he has made position very well known. Trump maintains favorability numbers, but struggles with independent women. Biden performs substantially lower than Trump, who is viewed favorably by 51% and unfavorably by 47%. The former president has maintained his popularity among Republicans, 86% of whom view him favorably. Among independents, 48% view him favorably, and 50% view him unfavorably. That's an improvement from February when it was 42% to 53%. All right. Among men who say they are independent, 54% have a favorable view of Trump and 43% have an unfavorable view of Trump. That's reversed for independent women, just 41% of whom say they have a favorable view of Trump, compared with 58% who have an unfavorable view of Trump. So definitely he needs to work on that. But Iowans overwhelmingly believe that the nation is headed in the wrong direction. 77% say things in the country have gotten off on the wrong track, while just 17% say things are headed in the right direction. That includes 96% of Republicans who believe the country is headed in the wrong direction, and 45% of Democrats. I think here's another thing Biden has to worry about. I believe there's going to be a lot of Democrats. I don't think the numbers are going to be what they were in 2020 with these enormous vote numbers, and maybe I'm wrong. But I think Biden also has to be concerned with a lot of people not showing up on the Democratic side, and that includes blacks, which is why this story exists. And I won't go into detail, but I'll give you a quick snapshot. New York Post, how non-citizens are getting voter registration forms across the U.S., and Republicans are trying to stop it thanks to Chip Roy with the SAVE Act. I'll get into this another day. But welfare offices and other agencies in 49 U.S. states are providing voter registration forms to migrants without requiring proof of citizenship. Leading Republican conservatives are trying to stop it. Every state but Arizona, that passed a law recently barring the practice on state but not federal forms, gives applicants for either welfare benefits, driver's licenses, or in some cases mail-in ballots, voter registration forms without demanding proof of citizenship. Did you know that? Did you know that there's no requirement on federal voting forms to provide proof of U.S. citizenship, even though it's illegal for illegal aliens to vote? Ooh. I mean, it's crazy. I can go into more, but it'll just take way too much time. So actually, I do want to play a couple videos for you. This is Biden with his mass amnesty plan. We'll play Trump's rebuttal at a rally, and we'll close it out. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the Carl Jackson Show. Again, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. Please subscribe, YouTube and Rumble. We certainly appreciate that. Like and share. We would certainly appreciate that. That would help us out a lot. All things social media at the Carl Jackson Show. I'm trying to make this, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm trying to make this a gig where we can fight for freedom together. So if any of you are so kind to donate, please feel free to do so. I got to be honest with you. I feel weird about it. It's something I got to fight, but I got to be truthful with you, man. All I want to do is fight for this country, and I want to motivate people to fight for this country. I'm a blue collar worker, and I think this is the greatest country that God has ever given man. I'm a Christian. I'm a conservative. Obviously, I'm black. I don't think that matters as much in the scheme of things, not nowadays, anyway. And there's no place else to go. We all know it. We all know it. So we're all in this fight together. All right, couple last clips I want to play for you. We'll call it a day. So this is Joe Biden after he announces more amnesty for the country. If we could play clip number 7, por favor, Gabe, and then let's go to Trump's response at a rally at 6.
We can both secure the border and provide legal pathways to citizenship. But we have to acknowledge that the patience and goodwill of the American people is being tested by their fears at the border. They don't understand a lot of it. These are the fears my predecessor is trying to play on when he says immigrants, and his words are poison the blood of the country. When he calls immigrants, in his words, animals. When he was president, he separated families and children at the border. And now he's proposing to rip spouses and children from their families and homes and communities and place them in detention camps. He's actually saying these things. It's hard to believe it's being said, but he's actually saying these things out loud. And it's outrageous. Folks, I'm not interested in playing politics with the border or immigration. I'm interested in fixing it. I said it before.
I'm interested in fixing it, even though I've kept the borders wide open for my entire presidency, and I'm continuing to keep them.
I'm not interested in fixing it. I said it before.
What a liar. All right, what a liar. So he's not interested in playing politics. And by the way, did you guys notice something there? Did you notice a different Joe Biden than the one that the robot that Biden or that Barack Obama was ushering out? Besides the robot that was in France and, in Normandy, where Meloni, the president of Italy, had to say, hey, come here, you senile old man. And you have the left saying, oh, he was talking to the paratrooper or whatever, the guy that was on the ground. The paratrooper didn't even know he was there. He never even looked up at him. Look at the video. The dude was trying to shake the hands of a ghost. He's delusional. He's hallucinating. But he looked comparatively, he looked good in that video. What did they juice him up with? Even his skin looked better. I wonder if they gave him some Botox. And they put him in, because that almost looks like it could have been a year ago. All right, here's Trump at a rally today. Let's play this and we'll get out of here, Gabe. Number 6, por favor.
As president, I will fight for American seniors like nobody has ever fought before, and we will not be fighting for the Biden illegals, as I call them. I will fight for American workers, not for human traffickers. I will fight for the American dreamers, not the child smugglers and woman smugglers. And I will restore the sovereign borders of the United States of America. So help me God. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Gabe, what type of chant do you think illegal aliens would be saying for Biden? He's saying, the Trump supporters are saying USA. What do you think the illegal aliens would be saying? What does that mean? Oh, okay. How do you say that again? Queremos Biden. Queremos. Did I miss something in between? All right. So the illegals will be saying queremos a Biden. We have to get used to this, because if Biden wins again and then Kamala is in, they're going to bring in more illegals. We're all going to have to learn to speak Spanish. Gabe, as a benefit, he can pretend like he's amongst them while he takes advantage of them. So I'm trying to learn the language so I can be with Gabe. Does that make sense? Was that wrong? I probably shouldn't have said that live. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in to the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Again, please subscribe. Please support our sponsors. I have a hard time doing this stuff, but I got to do it. In order to be on air, I got to do it. So please subscribe. All right. Please share. we would certainly appreciate it. Follow me on all things social media. I would certainly appreciate that. If you could help a brother out, I would appreciate that as well. But anyway, man, we got to stop this stuff. Until next time, guys, do not grow weary doing good. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.